Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. And I want to say hello to a lot of new usernames, technically, a lot of new faces here. Yeah, I just also want to say thank you for all the love on my last video, talking about going from overwhelm to decisions. I do feel like I want to revisit a little bit, but I was surprised that I figured some people would pop in and say, "Oh yeah, here's some other things to think about." But sometimes when you're listening on a device or a TV or something, it can be hard to leave a comment. So I welcome everyone to watch that last video. And if you have any ideas, I did have, I think, two more thoughts come up since then, and I also found like those were more important maybe than the other ones that were on there. I very much, my mind thinks in reverse a lot of times, especially if I'm recalling the day. I definitely go backwards in time. So I go from like, I'll sit down to journal. I'll think about what just happened like an hour ago, and then 2 hours, and then 5 hours, and then like step back. And so often my journal entries are kind of in reverse. And so when I was looking at those questions and things that you can ask yourself, I was like, oh, well, here's a much more obvious one. And then here's one more. So it may be in reverse order when I get to that second video. But I'm going to sit on it a little bit because yeah, I didn't have anything pop up into my mind right away. And then I had those two over the last couple days. So I'm waiting to kind of see if anything else kind of pops in my mind. So that's how things are going. But I just was so thankful for everyone who has joined here. Mostly my videos are about planning. And then I have been doing those kind of standalone videos. I love doing them, but I do feel pretty vulnerable when I make them because I do have to be kind of careful about, because I don't have a script. I'm just kind of winging it all, and I just want to make sure everyone feels included and represented in a way that, like, you know, just that it's comforting to the community here, and not I mean, we all have things that we don't experience, so they are not to the forefront of our minds, and so I do welcome that feedback. Anything really, and it is really hard to like think about everything because it's so diverse as well. I just noticed here I put in my May part in here, but I did not round the corners, so I was going to stamp these, get these rounded here. So that's kind of about how this last week has been very busy. Let me get these. Sometimes it doesn't do it. Let me see. I do the small one because that's what it seems to match the other pages in here. I get it. There we go. So this last week I had, for those who have been following so far, I put in these, they're the ones where you press down. These are Midori, I believe, from what I remember. And they're the ones that you rub on, and they had been matching the Sterling ink pages next to them. And obviously this is kind of a departure, although these green kind of look like the hanging flowers. But yeah, it's kind of funny to look back at these other monthly setups here and kind of have them, like the yellows match here, kind of. So it was fun. It's, again, it was all coincidence. So this last week, reflections wise, I just did here. I'm doing these on a Saturday night, as I typically do. And I have to say, I have one more surgery that I need to have done, which I expected. I had one, well, I had a lot last year. A lot. Some of them were just procedures, but other ones, let's see. Major surgeries is probably, I mean, I had my hysterectomy and then I had my December one, and this will be my third one. The other ones were like scoping my uterus to see what was in there. They found bad stuff, so that's why they took it out. Colonoscopies, you're put under, but there's nothing. Well, they removed some polyps and stuff. I don't know. Going to sleep procedures, as opposed to MRIs and CTs. Like, there's been a lot this last year. But I really want to get this last one kind of out of the way. We're crossing fingers. This is the last one. It's not guaranteed the last one, but it is hopefully going to be the last one. And it was really nice to get that on the schedule. They had just opened some time. They were looking at doing things in July, and they had just gotten some open time. So May 1st is my surgery. And I'm going to try to batch some videos this next week to have them ready, because I won't be able to sit very long for probably about 2 weeks. So I might batch some, and I might be away for about a week. You know, I might miss a plan with me on a Sunday. I might miss like a Wednesday kind of video. So we'll see. We'll see. I have like a little under a week and a half. But I also don't want to push myself too far. But I was just really, I feel grateful that I can get it in sooner. We might be having an insurance change soon, and I would love to use this insurance. Yeah. We got my son's assessment literally in our hands today. We had an IEP meeting and the assessment meeting on the same day last week. It was like an 8 a.m. for the assessment review, and then the IEP was that afternoon, both at the drop-off and pickup times for my son, so we had to have help with that. But yeah, when there's instances of that where we need to go over the assessment for his IEP needs, we need some time. So we had this deadline of his IEP coming up, and we can't let it lapse. So we had to just say there's no changes, moving on. And yeah, it was insightful. It was really insightful. There are just a few people at the school we're a little concerned about, but it was really good. I said here for like one of my insights, by meeting others at the school, we're very impressed at that school. We get really good support so far, but there's something else kind of going on that I don't understand. So we're going to have to address that in May, and it's going to have to be kind of after my surgery. That's just how things are. And it's just hard. It's not the changes or the support that we need to provide. It's who is like on the team to agree to word them the way that we need them to. It's like, we need these changed up and worded differently. I had been pushing for certain verbiage, and it was kind of brushed aside. So I do have to say it's kind of triggering me a little bit, because it's making me think of my school days and how I kind of made my own IEP for myself, because I didn't have one. Now seeing my my late stage diagnoses, I'm like, I don't know if it's so hard. It's so hard with types of support that they a a kid can look very accomplished, yet still have a lot of needs that need to be addressed. And I very much experienced that. My experience was that I pushed myself really hard to get good grades, but then it looked like I had no problems going on. So I would, fake being sick, really, so that I had time to get all my assignments done. And it's hard. It's hard. So I don't know. That's why it's like affecting me a bit, because I'm like, no, you don't understand. You may be seeing this facade of like an accomplished kid and that there's no problems, but good grades don't necessarily mean there isn't like this constant struggle and of things behind the scenes. So that's as far as I'll go, because I very much felt that. So I'm just kind of sharing what I felt. I do have a therapy session on Monday. We moved it to Monday, and thank goodness, actually, because it was going to be the day before those meetings, and it was going to be here, and so we moved it to Monday. So I'm going to be able to talk about this. I'm not trying to use this YouTube channel as like a therapy session, but I do want to share some things because I think I could probably say many of you may relate to that in some form or another, whether it's neurodivergency, or being neurodivergent, being chronically ill, any of those things that you try to see how you can exist in the world, that makes it hard to exist. So, what else? There was sunny weather. Right now it kind of got windy and rainy. It's funny because I set up my setup here. I have the window blinds closed, and so I thought the sun had set already, because I was used to like winter, and when I looked outside it was still like the sun hadn't even set yet. It's just kind of a weird day like that today. What else? So, and then I just feel really lucky in getting some immunizations this month. They're timing out perfectly so that I can be done with them before my surgery. I had no idea going into the month. I was just like, I want to get these shots done as soon as possible. But now I can get my next one done on Friday and then have my surgery Wednesday and then chill. Like I was having to, as I explained last week, I went in and they're like, no, you need to have 4 weeks in between, which would have put me after my surgery, which would have made it pretty hard to get there. Now, I mean, with immunizations, there can be some fudge room, but I wanted to stay on schedule and do it at the schedule I chose, and this makes it perfect. And that makes my fitting into all the boxes brain happy. So, and I don't know, I'm trying to see. So like this next month of May is going to be kind of getting through the hard stuff. I'm going to be healing up. I'm going to be having to ask for help. I may have some time away from this channel for a little bit, which I'm sure all of you are like, yep, please do. Like, I think everyone who is part of this community is like, yeah, there's so many of us who have other channels who take breaks because we just need to. And so, yeah, I feel that reflected back. So I feel like I don't have to push really hard. But I do have to push hard against the school. And that's fortunately, my husband was there for both of the meetings. He kind of knows what's been going on. I mean, maybe he can do a little bit, but at least I feel like I have a backup partner, because I've been handling quite a bit one-on-one through phone calls and emails, and he's been a little out of the loop because he's been busy. So, I mean, I would share everything, but for him to actually sit in and hear everything word for word, he was like, that was an interesting way to phrase that. And I'm like, yeah, do you see? Do you see? There's something going on here. Let's see. So yeah, going between calm of knowing I'm not minding surgery other than the healing part afterwards. It's like, I would rather be proactive, stay on top of these things. Things are going well, which is why I was allowed to go the next step for this one. I kind of like the little nap times. I am going to figure out, since I'm going back to the same facility, I had mentioned a while back, I wasn't sure which drug they gave me that I got really loopy about. Like, I don't normally feel like I'm about to be so dizzy I'll fall down after surgery. And so we're going back to the same facility. I'm going to find out what that is and not take it, because it's an optional one. It's one of those. Yeah. So, and I'm hoping, like the last time as well, I had to take a bunch of antibiotics, and this one said I didn't have to prep with any antibiotics. Last time I had to prep for like a week of them, have the surgery, and have them for a week after, and one of them was not great. So I put on my chart that I can't take one of them, and this one said I didn't have to prep. So I'm going to go with that, because it is a little different. It is just kind of a different procedure. So yeah, calm, frustrated, and telling my family like, hey, this is going to happen soon. Yeah, it's humbling when you have to ask for a bunch of help, but it's going to be easier than last summer from the hysterectomy. It's going to be a lot easier than that. That was definitely a lot of being in bed. And it takes a long time to heal from that. So knowing that I've been there and that I can handle that, and then I can handle this, and hopefully go into June and into the summer. I'm thinking I'm trying to aim the end of June into July being a lot better, because last year that's June 14th is when I had my surgery. And so it was I really don't remember July much. I don't remember June much, the end of June. I remember some poignant parts of just the hard parts, but then it was sometimes when you have big things in your life, time gets fuzzy. So that's about it for this last week. This I didn't look at as much. Oh, I did get my quip package, and we got this. So yeah, for the most part, moving on. I'm kind of done with the purple. And so this week we have these yellows, and I don't know, it just this is the mood and the mode that I'm kind of inviting in. I picked out this is a butter yellow zig, yeah, and then this is just a Mr. Pen that's kind of more of a very subtle green, almost gray green, but I thought that kind of went because I don't really have a gentle, what are they? My brain isn't working. One of these Tombos. I've been looking for kind of a yellow and some more subtle colors. Excuse me. I was drinking some my Olipop. I put some ice in there. Excuse me. So welcome April 22nd through the 28th. Excuse me. I have some carbonation in that. Oh, we have a full moon or a new moon. I forget. I write them like, yeah, that's a full moon. Right? I'm looking up here. Yes, full moon 23rd. Full moon. That'll be fun. So I'm going to see, I think I want to use, oh, and I'm not going to use this here. I moved this to here. There we go. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to keep that appointment, and I'm so glad I did. My one doctor I asked questions about, she never got back to me within the week, but her nurses did get back to me saying, sorry about the delay, sorry about the delay. Let's see, how dark is this? Let's highlight the week here and see how dark this is. Oh, it's not too bad. I wanted to have it nice and light like that, so let's kind of do a diagonal over these. Yeah, I like that. Because I want the yellow to stand out this next week. Oop. A little bit of a lump here from all that washi tape in the corner. Oh, and I picked out a washi tape that's just kind of golden. And it gets a little lighter when you take it out here. So I was thinking I could put it in the middle. I think that might be nice. And a subscriber or viewer or commenter or someone a few videos ago that I had used the previous kit here, and I was like, it's so hard to use these, and they said just, you know, cut it in half or cut them, and I'm like, what? I've seen people do that, and it never popped into my mind of like, oh, I should do that. So thank you for saying that. And that's what I want to do with this one. And I love this kind of buttery color here. Let's see. I really am hoping that we have some other exciting news at the end of the week. But we still are not sure yet. So I will share that at a later date. Let's see if this corner will stay. I think so. So I have this appointment here, and then that appointment there. And then I have, this is a yard waste week. So we have yard waste that we get out, and that one there, which is Smith. So yard waste, Smith Brothers, those are the times that I'm prepping them, and then we actually have them show up. I don't usually write when they show up. It's more important that I'm addressing them before, like just prepping and making sure we're getting the cans out or getting the order ready. That's all. So I did pick a card. So if you're new here, I do use tarot cards that I pick once a week that just kind of gives me a theme for the week. Last week was the sun, radiant and joyful. Your light is contagious. Thank your ancestors and your journey. Thank your ancestors and your journey into becoming your brightest self. I think I missed a word in there. So, because it's thanking your ancestors and the journey that you have gone on, really, into becoming your brightest self. So I got Explorer of Candles. And I wanted to thank the person who chimed in and said they love this, the person who created this and the deck as well. Alexa is amazing. So please, this is just a little bit about her. Go check her out if you are interested, and her website is right here, and usually always linked below because I'm always using this one. I think people love to use quotes that you can use. Bible quotes, you can use quotes from books that you just find really inspiring. I found that the randomness of looking at a graphic representation of something that you can interpret, and the randomness of drawing a card really helps me kind of take a step back and look at not just problems, just look at my life in a different way, and it really kind of unlocks ideas. So because there's a lot of new people, I just wanted to kind of go over that. So what I do is I write that here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I started writing here, and my because I always use erasable pens, it always kind of leaves these indentations, but my handwriting was really weird. So I'm like, I don't want it up there and something's off. So I erased it, put it down here. It feels much better. And then I'll put that card where I can see it throughout the week. I'm really liking this yellow here. So let's put let's also get my scissors out. Yeah. Where's my zipper? There we go. Okay, because we might cut some of these circular ones. Yeah, definitely if you cut it like in quarters, you can put a little quarter like here and here. So I might do that. I do want to save one of these for my weeks, which reminds me, next weekend, I'm going to have a regular plan with me, just like this, but I'm going to include the monthly, just putting the May stickers on, because my monthly kind of just setting up, just a setup, those are just kind of low views, and I'm like, why am I spending time trying to schedule that on a different day? I'm going to just include that in my weekly for at least next month, and just kind of see how it goes, because I just need to put some stickers on the outside, and then I'm kind of done. Like there's not a whole lot, and I'm not going into deep depths of talking either, like I usually do in my plan with me. It's just like right now. So that kind of reminded me of like, oh, I'll be picking out May stickers plus weekly stickers. So I'm really in a cutting mood, apparently. I picked up my scissors here. What can we put here? I kind of want to put like one of the bunches of flowers to kind of go over. Where are my tools here? There we go. There is like a little bit of, let's see if we can, a little bit of purple in there, a little bit. I love the yellows, but yeah, there's a little bit of purple in there too. Let's see, it's kind of like there. I like that. And then we have some dragonflies, and you all know I like dragonflies. This dragonfly is usually off the screen, but they're always there. And kind of put that over here. And then there's a couple. Yeah, this one is very similar to this setup. And I did leave some on here to kind of mix and match. See if I can use some of these up as well. Ooh, I like this right here. How is everyone doing? I would love to hear from you to see, actually, I'm going to use this cup sticker for my drinks, on my health planner. And there's another dragonfly. Oh, this bee is so cute. I love this little bee. Let's put them right there. And let's see, let's do some corner pieces here. So this one here is, let's see, how do I want to have it? It might cover this a little bit. Kind of like that. Or do I want that there? Yeah, I think I want it like that. Like you can also do just like a little half moon, a half semicircle. See if I can talk. If I can count or talk. Do I want to put it here or in the corner? Actually, I think it'll fit like right there. I kind of like it within the grid. I know you can get like a much more collage-y type look to things. I have a little trouble being that random. I love looking at the finished pieces that people do put together of just beautiful collage work. I tend to just be a little bit more clean, and not clean as in better at all. It has nothing to do with that, because I think there is just this artistic complexity to layering things, and it can just be amazing to sit there and look at the layers. And even when I see people create them, I'm like, how are you just like putting things down? Sometimes, you know, you can see people with their tweezers like doing this and trying things out, kind of like I am. And so they are kind of trying to see where the balance is. And it's very much to me like when I used to do page layouts on a computer. But I still think it's amazing because I'll look at the final one. I'm like, how did you get there? And then when I watch somebody do it, I'm just like, wow, there was just kind of this acceptance and inner knowing of just kind of stacking things up. I was just like, well, this is my body, my mind and body are saying do this. And then, excuse me, sometimes it seems like, wow, it was just kind of completely random that put it together, or there's just this kind of inner knowing. I don't know. I find it completely fascinating. And a lot like when you go to an art gallery and you're looking at all the brush strokes or the layers of things, and you're like, how'd they do this? How did they do this? And you can see the relationships of the different media or the shapes or the colors, and you can read into it, even though maybe the artist themselves was just like, I'm just doing this, and they don't see the correlations right away. As an artist, sometimes you don't see that, and someone else can see all those correlations, and you're like, did I do that subconsciously? It's fascinating to me. Anyway, what else can we put on here to make it not look too, like this feels almost a little doily-ish, which I'm fine with. I like this is kind of like a wild arrangement, and this is kind of wild, and then this is a little bit more formal, and that's as formal as I want to get with it. Oh, there's a little bubble thing here. Let's try this. Kind of feel like putting that over here somewhere. Again, why I put that there, I don't know. I don't know. And I do kind of want to put, well, I have my A5 to decorate as well. So this might be A5. I don't know if I'll use this one at all, but I'm trying to use these other ones. Okay, so sometimes I just get that far, and I have been doing like, what did I call it last week? Work tasks. So I think I just want to use the word work here. And then I kind of list some things, and I might separate them out there. There is this space right here that I'm not sure what I'm using. I did make this a little high because I was matching this line. I probably would have wanted it a little lower to give myself space up here, but I'm also thinking like, what can I take of these and put like a section here for something? And that I do kind of figure out at a later time. Oh, I did not get my date. Let me get those really quick. Okay, so I got, so I have these Sterling ink ones that have like a little bit of yellow in them. But the problem I'm having is that they also have like these brushstroke looks behind them, and I don't know, it just feels a little off. So I thought, oh, let me use some of these. But I also got these number stickers on Friday, Saturday. I don't know what day. What's happening? No, I got them Friday. And I wanted to see about using some this week, but I feel like these feel a little off from these as well. These look a little, like this is a little bit more yellowy. I could try these. So let me see that about that. This to me feels a little bit more like it'll go with this set. So let me get these down. I think I want just the regular ones up here. So yeah, I have a idea for another video to make for this coming Wednesday that is pretty simple and something I can very much speak to right now. So I am going to do that right after this. I thought about filming that first because it's like kind of on the top of my mind, but then I thought usually when I'm talking through this video or just doing any kind of video, I'll have a lot more ideas kind of pop up, or because I'm kind of verbally processing. Let's see, if I use, that's the first day is the 22nd. So if I use this, is that weird? Does that feel a little off? I think so. Just doesn't feel like the right one. I'd rather handwrite and save those. So 22nd. There's something about just a little bit more hand drawn with these. It just feels a little better. I don't know. Are there any stickers I can put on here though? Let's look at these daisies. Put something here. Then I could cut one of these other ones. Let's see. How about I cut this in half. And then let's do this one here. I mean, I could go to the edge, but I just like kind of being in the grid. It feels more like framed art to me. I don't know. Sorry, that was pretty much like off there. So I'll put those. I might see if there's a little something. See, is there, here we go, this little butterfly. Anyway, I'm excited about, yeah, this next video. I think I kind of want that to be up a little further there. And it's not going to be a long one, but I think it's something that might help others, and that's the whole point, right? Ooh. I'm running into a little problem here. I need to put the names there. So let's put this either here or here. Let's see. Does it look upside down here? Yeah. There's a butterfly. So let me put it because this is Sunday. So Sunday I usually have a lot of room for, because I put like a cleaning list. Where'd they go? Cleaning list and kind of a dump list. I guess I do it. I never thought about this. So here's something to think about. I do a Sunday dump list, but it's not before I plan. I do it in between, actually. So I plan on a Saturday night. On Sunday, I kind of fill in the blanks. I transfer things over to get them ready for Monday. And so here I will do kind of a dump list, but it's not for anyone to really see, because I never really go over those. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah. Couldn't explain why, how, why. That's just kind of how I do things. 26th. So, let's see. So I have these in. I don't need those. Is there, like, I could put, let's put a blue. I do have, there's a butterfly and a dragonfly in there, but they are pretty small. There is just this kind of single little daisy. I think I'll put kind of here. There we go. And then I have my reflection pages here, and this is where I'd like to bring the yellow back in. I do like the yellow. I think I put it across the bottom last time, so let's try it across the top. I love this sunny color. This is actually the color highlighter I want to find. I mean, this dot marker is kind of close, but even a little lighter than this would be nice too. Just something really subtle, buttery yellow in a Tombow. If anyone knows, like, I have looked on Amazon and looked at their collection a bit to see if I can order just a single one. So if anyone has any recommendations on that, I would find that really fascinating. Because you never know. Like, you can tell me, oh, get this number, and then what I do is I take the references I created, the swatches I have in my A5, and then I compare them to the numbers that I see on the screen for examples of like their entire collection, and then I look at the number that maybe someone might give me and try to kind of calculate in my head. Oh, okay, I expect it to be kind of looking like this. If that makes sense. So reflections, and then we do wins, what worked, what didn't, and then insights. I'm trying to make sure these boxes line up, and shifts. And for those who are new, this is based off the Moxie Life reflections. They have wins, worked, didn't. I'm trying to remember the two names that I like the word insights, because it was something that kind of what kind of sparkles and kind of comes up for me, what kind of feels really salient, I guess. It feels really visceral, of like, what are those like insightful moments, that kind of aha moments, I guess. And I know she used the word changes, and I didn't necessarily want to have like full-on changes or something, so I thought shifts was better. And then I just came up with putting the word feelings here, because I do both mood feelings of like, oh, I was angry, I was sad, but also like if I felt really achy or trying to think, sleepy, like any kind of feelings I'm having within my body, just as like an overall, like, what do I feel like for the week? But I also have an extra health planner that I use. So is there a little something? I was thinking about this one down here to make it kind of cheerful. Here we go. There. So that will be my B6 Papertess. And then I'll write these sections over. I have to give some thought here about like, what do I want here and what do I want up here? And then fill those in. I just have the 2 appointments, I believe. I have been moving a lot of things around. Yeah, I already did my labs. This one, I'm glad I did them when I did. But that's something that did not work. I know people have experienced this because I've heard people warn about where to get your labs at, where to get them done at. And they said, be careful about doing them around a hospital because they might bill them differently. And I think they did. So I specifically asked when I was going to go to this lab, I said, is this for, just my primary care? And they're like, yeah. And I think that was the question that I should have shifted a little bit. But I am going to call my insurance just to make sure. But usually all my labs are covered, and like none of these were covered. They were billed for more. So, not horrible. Like if I have to pay it, that's fine. But it just, normally in the past, I haven't had to. And it could be the types of labs, because there were some different labs in there. But I feel like something was a little off. But what I've heard is like, definitely don't get them done at the hospital, because they bill those differently and have those coded differently. But I was like, I just need regular labs drawn. There's nothing fancy about this. And maybe because it's just that close to a hospital, but it's not, it wasn't attached to the hospital at all. Could you walk to the hospital from there? Yes. maybe that's it. So, but my primary care person is in the same building. Like, if I came out of my primary care and said, okay, I need to get these labs drawn, they would be like, yeah, just go down the hall and do that there. And I used to, for my old PCP in a different building, they were like, yep, just go down the hall, get those done. And what am I looking for this? And this was not the case. But at least I've heard of it. This wasn't like a total surprise. I was kind of keeping my eye out for it. I want to put this right here because that looks gorgeous. Yeah, as far as I can tell, I just have those, but I'm going to put my son's. Oh, was this hard to come off here last time? Let's see, come here. Dragonfly just doesn't want to let go here. Let's see. Trying not to tear him. I did kind of tear him. Oh well. Not a big deal. Let's let them fly right there. And then this I'll use, and this one I don't know what I'm doing with that yet. Okay. So I put a little green there. I think I want to keep this one a little bit more simple. Oh, let me try. Bit of like that right there. This is the part that I try my best. Try to layer things up a little bit. A little eucalyptus on top. I don't know. And a little golden bubble somewhere up here. Try that yellow. Oh, I should use this as the full moon over here. Let's just put it right over the Tuesday. Yep, that's our full moon. I wonder if I can do that in the other one. Okay, I will check towards the end. Let me get my... Checking some things. Anywho, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I was, and I strongly encourage, I think I've talked about this before, of like, if you're watching YouTubers or shows that, I don't know, that are annoying to you, that you don't like, I encourage that, like, if you feel that way with me, unsubscribe. Make your life feel a little better. And I was watching a pretty popular YouTuber for a while. I've been watching her for a while. And some of the parts I liked. Some of the parts I realized I was watching because she, like... I know you can get a lot on Amazon, and this is not a shit on Amazon, because I totally understand the convenience of Amazon, especially for those who are chronically ill or who have trouble going to stores. Like, it is like a whole lot easier to order things. She was doing it to the amount of, like, it's every single thing in her home, and it was starting to overflow in her home. And that's her, like, she has resources I don't. Monetarily, like, that's fine. But I realized what I was doing is I was watching to kind of vicariously live through, like, well, what if I could afford all that? And then I'm like, I don't really want to go through that experience anymore, to think that way anymore. So my priorities just shifted, you know. I'm just going to do it over the numbers because I covered up one part there. Let's see, can I do it? There we go. And I mean, I found other parts of her work also helpful, though. So it wasn't like, it wasn't just this like guilty pleasure. It was more, let's see, I'm going to try to highlight this week here in the yellow. I thought about it with the, oops, went out of the line a little bit. Oh, I got to put dots down the side here. But then you just reach a point sometimes where things just kind of diverge. And that's kind of where I got to. And I'm just like, I don't like this version of myself that's watching. And for the reasons why I'm watching. So it just happened around the same time. I found a different creator that kind of had some similar vibes. But then for me, it was so much more healthy for me to watch a different creator. There was something else that the second creator was making decisions in a more thoughtful way. And that's what I wanted to be inspired by. To go, and both of these creators are very young compared to myself. I'm in my 40s, they're in their 20s. Like, there's definitely a big gap there. And sometimes I think a lot of us in our 30s and 40s do like to watch, and I even like to watch like teen dramas just to remember those years, you know, and to remember what it's like to think in a totally different way and to kind of reminisce. So when I watch people in their 20s, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that point where, and kind of now I see people in their 20s, at least the people that I've followed and been inspired to follow, as they have their shit together a lot more than I did at that age. They're like, I see them making very good decisions. Excuse me. But I also feel like I did the best with what I had at the time. So yeah, let me see. Is there anything else? Oh, I do want to do the dots for here. It'll be, oops, I almost had it in the wrong day. So here we'll be getting the yard waste ready, and then that's when they come. And here is when I go over the order, and this is when they come. Oh, and then there's somewhere in here will be the lawn service. So, but I applaud younger than me people. Some people call them kids. I do find it interesting. There was someone, I was talking to my husband about, he was talking to a person whose kids were in their 20s. And so when she saw people that she worked with that were people in their 20s, she would call them kids. I'm not there yet. My son is teens, so I had to kind of think about, like, if my son were in his 20s, would I start looking at them at like 20-year-olds as kids? Because I don't see that perspective right now. I do see, like, there's the teens right now, there's 20s, there's 30s, 40s, like all of them are mid. But I wouldn't look at a 20-year-old and call him a kid unless they were just acting very, very immature, or dangerous or something like that. But I do think people in their 20s, at least who I have seen, are making some extraordinary decisions. But that's not everyone also, you know. Popular people on YouTube are making a lot more money, and but I guess that was the difference between these two people I've been watching, was like one still talked about being very careful with their money, but I think she had a lot more coming in, and there was a lot of more impulsiveness, whereas the other person was like, whenever she talked about finances, you could tell it's like, oh, I wanted these things, but then I really sat and thought about it, and it became like, no, if I'm really practical about this, the popular YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, is not going to work for me long term. So I can't go that direction. I really will regret it. And so she is making really positive decisions for herself. So yeah. What else do I want? This might move. Oh, I don't have my son's therapy on here. That is what I'm missing. Yeah, so I get my last shot here, and then I get one in a year. And that'll be nice, because then for this next week, my surgery date, I was on the 1st here. I tried to call on Friday to move this because I won't be able to make this one. I mean, thankfully it's a video, but if it was like 3 days later, sure. But the day after, no. I think that's it. Let me make sure that I put that other Tuesday, 4 p.m. That on there with a dot. I really like this yellow and green. It's really pretty. And I like that it's kind of like different from last week. So that's my A5. And then we're going to get this one done. So yeah, next week will be quite a lot to get all 3 of these done plus a month. Maybe I am. Like, maybe that is too much. I do normally keep a pen in every single notebook, because then I can just grab the notebook and take it places. I wasn't doing that for a while. I would just keep a pen next to me. But then I realized that I would just grab them and I wouldn't have a pen. Especially this one I take out of the house, and it's the one I take to schedule things. Let's see. Come here. Well, let's see if I can wiggle it off of here. There we go. So, put this one down here or in the middle. See if I can put it in the middle. Kind of like that. Whoa! Is it kind of straight? It's mostly straight. Mostly straight. I'll go with that. And then I will also just kind of feel like it's framed up a little. Put like little, since it's about 1 square on each side. Yeah, that feels better. Okay, and then I highlight. I'll have to get that other appointment in here. Highlight these areas. Let's see if I can do it in one go. Woo, pretty good. Let's see if I can keep it up. Woo, I'm getting lucky. Now up here, it's a little thinner, so let's see. Should I do it like this? Probably. Ooh. It's gonna be a little wonky. It's okay. Let's see if I can fill that in a little. There we go. And then I'll highlight here. Ooh, it's very scratchy sounding. Make this a little darker. Yeah, that's looking good. I really like this green. It's a little chunky in here, but that's what I could do with the skills I have. So then I use yellow for these because that'll stand out more. Yeah. Oh, and then I'll do this to get rid of these dots. Trying to think like what else happened this week. Yeah. Okay, let's put some days of the week in here. And then numbers up the side here. I'm writing rather big today, at least right here. And sometimes that's because my hand is fatigued, but I'm just going with it. Okay. And then 18, my cycle starts on 19 here. And if you are new and wonder how I set this up, I do a whole video on this, but if you just want to look back, this is usually how my weeks look. I have energy and stress, yellow and pinky red there, and then I have sleep in the lighter blue and water in the darker blue. And then I keep keep track of water, bedtime, sleep, anything else going on there. So that's generally how that goes. Water. And then sleep here. like bedtime here, steps when I'm wearing my watch, and then supplements. I did go on a B12 last week. Oh, what is it that I'm doing here? Here. And I am slowly adding in more iron. And then I have different meds here. What is it about? Oh, I can never remember all of them. Okay. And then I just put breakfast, lunch, and dinner down the side. And this is what really sold me on this one, is that it had all these compartments for these things. And it would be really hard for me to switch everything up now. I could maybe towards the end, like try something at the end of the year to have something different for next year. But I'm so stuck in this. And if I move things around, unless it just was like really super helpful, sorry, I'm just checking the time. Then my comparisons would possibly be in different places. So it'd have to be really convincing for me to do it. But I do like to switch things up if things are going to work better. Just like actually last weekend, I filmed with this new lighting the past couple videos, but then right after I got done with those, I actually took my whole desk apart and tried something new. Didn't work. Put it back, but then I'm still using less stuff, and that makes me so happy. I actually have like such a minimal setup here. One light, one mic, one tripod holding my phone, and I connect it to my laptop and film. I do film on my laptop. I do not film on my phone because I'd rather have all the big files over on my laptop. What else? So my highlights of the week, sometimes they're a little repetitive, but I like to list like 3 things here. And having my shots all done will be really helpful next Friday. Yay! My little celebrations for the week. I go up on my iron possibly this week. That would be really good because I was feeling really tired. And then I started upping my iron a bit and it did help. So where's that cup? Here we go. I wanted to put this cup here. I'll put it over. It's a big cup. It's a big cup. At least I just have that left. I don't think... Maybe I'll put that on a different... Actually, what I can do is stick that right here. So all done for that one. What else can I put on here? Ooh, how about this butterfly? Kind of here. I feel like I should have it here. This, well, maybe there. A little higher. I feel like the bee should go somewhere really fun. Just put this down here for Sunday. Any other flowers? This is a long, thin one here. Let's see. Kind of put that there in the middle. I don't know. That might be about it. Okay, so this is my health one. All done? I think so. Go back here and see if there is... Do I want to put a bee on here? No, I think this was good enough. I was keeping a little bit more botanical on this. I thought I might use this one on here, but I like these instead. So I don't really want to put a bee on here. Let's stack these up. So this one is done. And I did put a bee in this one. And do I want a little happy bee in here? Ooh, right down here. There we go. The bees just looking at all these flowers here. So I will keep this one for another time. But yeah, that's my stack for this next week. And like, if I were to now go into like a May setup, I mean, I'm at an hour and 13 minutes. So yeah, I might have to do it, keep that a separate video or just not film it. I mean, that's the other part. I don't have to film it. So thank you, everyone. If you've stuck with me this far, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like this video. I want to thank everyone for the likes on my last video. It's very heartwarming to know that so many people resonated with it. And I'm hoping the ones upcoming that you resonate with as well. So yeah, subscribe, like on your way out, and I will see you next time. Bye!